that, that would be my motivation and will to live catching on fire. My life is currently burning down in front of me, and I don't know what to do. I had every intention on my last video being my last video for the next 3 weeks. However, this is coming to my attention, and I just need to get this out, because I genuinely don't know when I'll be back. I believe I briefly mentioned there were some issues going on in my household before in my latest video. However, I didn't go into detail about it. To be honest, I don't even know why I'm even recording this. My Wi-Fi went down, and I'm recording this using my hotspot. Hopefully I can upload it, but it's just not even important. What's been going on has been mental abuse. I've been suffering from depression, anxiety, low self-esteem. It's been going on for the past 2-3 years that I've been holding this in, trying to play completely fine, but I'm not fine at all. I'm literally losing weight. Ever since I was in, I'd like to say 8th grade, school had become a major argument in my household, and if I didn't meet a specific standard, things would get ugly fast, and we'd start to argue, my mom and I. This escalated quite a lot throughout high school to where it is right now. I've been taking college classes, and ever since I failed to pass one high school class, which was math, and I'm not the best at math, and I'm not really understanding the point in like geometry and algebra 3-4 or something like that. And algebra 3-4 was the thing that I had gotten a D on, my first ever D in my academic career. And ever since then, just things started spiraling down. Arguments over the tiniest grade, a single missing assignment that wasn't even my fault, became my fault. I was losing sleep. Hell, I currently am now. It's 11:08. Usually I'd go to bed around like 1, but I don't know, I might be pausing this between to just trick and collect my thoughts on this. Flash forward to this year, where something brand new occurs. I struggle with a subject other than math, and it's a college course, psychology. I end up failing it with a D, and then I get put on academic probation for my college classes. This naturally leads to more arguments, and I am basically threatened to be getting all A's and B's to actually stay in school for the courses and stuff like that. Although it wasn't by my mom, which is fair, but her response was way worse. Her response was to escalate even further with micromanaging how I do things. And ends up causing her stress, I end up getting stressed just as badly. In fact, I truly believe I am stressed out worse. She acts like she's been through this whole spiel before. Shtick, whatever, not important. But essentially, she acts like because I'm quote unquote smart, I can't struggle. Which is definitely not true. And this just leads into where I am at currently. We had flashed back to literally like one semester ago when I was doing college classes, and I barely passed all my high school classes at the same time as my mental state began to decline the most there. For context, that would be about 6 months ago. We're going to flash forward even further now to 4 months ago. Or no, not 4 months ago, 2 months ago. Where I find out when it is my birthday that I really find out how much my mom cares for me. There was more arguments over assignments in school, and this led to her being absolutely silent and intentionally ignoring my birthday, not even saying happy birthday till about 2 to 3 weeks later, and in the most like happy birthday kind of mumbling. So that was already bad enough on top of what I was currently going through. To make matters worse, however, even when I thought I saw the light at the end of the tunnel, to my mom's impossible standards, I managed to squeak out A's in every class, colleges and everything, except for a computer science class which involved a lot of Java, and I had barely passed that because Java is very difficult for me, and I had asked for help, or I didn't ask for help and I barely passed, and there was people who asked for help and they barely passed as well, showing that I probably knew more considering I didn't even have to ask for help, and people still struggled when they did get the help. And because of that one single slip up in something that my mom presumed I was going to be strong in, she absolutely lost her mind and escalated further to the point where she thought I was being so lazy when screwing around with streaming and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, I spend a lot of time streaming and recording, but it is because I want to entertain people, and and I make sure to balance that out really well with my stuff and the work that I put into my school and college shows. And during all this, I am getting counseling from an individual therapist and a family therapist. Out of the blue one day, I think this was like 3 weeks ago, my family therapist decides to just quit seeing us. He had warned us that if we made this about who was being right or wrong in isolated incidents, he would no longer be our therapist. And my mom, being the narcissistic ass that she is, decided to make everything that happened about whether it was right or wrong, and I never got to see that guy again. I do not blame him, because she was a handful. However, I've come to the realization of how truly horrible my mom's mindset is. So, when I figured that the family therapist had taken her side and it wasn't like you would think that therapists, like especially family therapists, are not supposed to take sides. It was obvious that he had took her side, not knowing the entire story behind everything and anything that has happened in isolated incidents. And I get to tell my side of the story first with my individual therapist, and things are going well. He was actually able to understand my point of view. I'm able to understand her point of view to an extent, which is the right thing to do, obviously. You want to be able to understand people's points of views in arguments so that you're not biased. And he got her opinion, and he 100% agreed with the fact that my mom would over exaggerate about everything that I would do. And the best part about how narcissistic she is, when she found out that she was not having her side taken to defend her in her arguments, she decided to remove my personal counselor from the roster, which meant I could not see the guy anymore, undoing any sort of progress he could have made, all just because of the fact he shared a different opinion from what my mom did in a simple argument. That's isolated incidents so far, but I want to just talk about how badly this has affected me personally, and I might start to tear up here, which I apologize. My voice starts to break a little bit because this actually hurts to do, but I need to get this out because I genuinely don't know when I'll be back anymore. I just don't. Throughout the time of constant criticism from not doing quote unquote good enough to my mom's standards, it has ruined my self-esteem to the point where I can't even hold up a relationship or feel confident that I'm actually good enough of a partner or anything for any sort of relationship. I would have my girlfriend tell me directly that she loved me for who I was, and my stupid brain, being in the absolute pain and the destroyed state it's in, just couldn't believe her anymore. Not because I didn't trust her, but because my brain just didn't want to believe that that was an actual possibility after 4 or 5 years of just constant degrading of my mental health and self-esteem. And when she decided something happened and she just disappeared one day, just everything went to hell for me. And suddenly one day she came back, and I didn't know how to approach her with that anymore, because at one point she just left out of the blue. Naturally, with what was going on with my mental health, I thought I just wasn't trustworthy enough as a partner to do anything, for my partner to vent to me about what is occurring. So I genuinely stayed quiet. I intentionally ghosted her, like the asshole I am. And effectively ruined one of my only good relations with someone that really cares. And I have currently isolated myself so badly that in real life I've only got 2 friends. Nobody else. At all. I just genuinely don't know anymore what to do. Parents can suck sometimes. I know mine. She's psychotic. From my experience. But the best advice I can give is try to connect with other people. Don't isolate yourself like I have, because I genuinely don't know if I can live to 18. I don't feel healthy. I don't want to live if this keeps going on. I just genuinely don't know what to do anymore. There is no child protection services that can help me out, because the child protection services in Arizona is known notoriously for being very, very, very bad. I have done research on all possibilities trying to get a job to quickly leave the household. I can't do that because internship, which is not paid, I tried to push for paid so I didn't have to worry about that. Failed to do so because I was not hired for the internship that paid. Cannot have the time to do a job on the side as well with all that stuff, because internship, high school classes, college classes take up 90% of my week now, and I don't know if there is any other time that I could squeeze in. And just, there's no other possibility. I don't have any friends that would be willing to just let me get away from all this. I'm just genuinely out of options. My life's gone to shit, and I can only just sit here and watch it burn. There is truly no way out for me. I've researched every single option, and I've ruined any others that would have been a valid option. So let this video be a warning. If your life is going to hell, try to find someone to connect with, to just have around. They may help you. In the end, you don't know what could happen. And that's just all I can really say.